And so now they are asking for the public's help.
The two police officers was on top of the man, punching him in his side.
A witness describes what she says she saw last night around 7 at the intersection of Kitmore and Kelway.
They sprayed the man directly in his face. The man tried to get up to avoid that he can't see, but he's being abused. So he ran. Police officers ran after him. He screamed out for help because they started beating him with batons and everything.
Baltimore City police say officers had pulled the suspect over for a traffic stop involving possible narcotics.
Sometime after taking him into custody, the officers became aware that the individual was in what they believed was a medical distress. The officers immediately began life-saving measures and requested the response of the ambulance. We, the members of the law enforcement community, we, the commissioner, Commissioner Batts, myself, take the loss of any life very seriously. And we are going to do everything to make sure that we investigate this, that we look at what occurred.
And to that end, police are hoping someone will come forward with video of last night's event. This day and age in smartphones, they know that there are aplenty out there. So if anyone saw or heard anything, they're asking for people to come forward with information. And right now, the suspect's identity has not been released. Reporting live here in downtown Baltimore, Jennifer Franciati, WBAL TV 11 News.
Welcome back. You're listening to the State of the City. Let me open up the lines. Get your thoughts, questions, comments. Another black man executed. State execution at the hands of the Baltimore City Police Department. At least 10 officers, if not more, as you heard the witnesses say. And clearly, this black man was beaten. He was maced. He was pepper sprayed. He was sauteed and was never arrested except by cardiac and perhaps by Hardiac in terms of them thugs in blue uniforms. And all of this as a backdrop to your civil rights leaders or perceived leaders, Al Sharpton and the son of the Honorable Dr. King, Martin Luther King III, will be in town tonight. And let's see if they will talk about this black man who was killed. See, it's one thing for them to want to try to get you to talk about the death of Trayvon Martin, but Dr. King to put a straitjacket on you and say, well, it's only thing this is about is George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin, and stand your ground. No, it ain't about stand your ground. It's about what's happening to black people here, there, and everywhere around this country right now. And it's not just happening with blacks, but it's magnified with blacks. Let me put it plain for you. You're essentially right now being displaced, misplaced, disgraced, and soon you'll be erased if you don't stand up and start fighting back. That's the bottom line. But don't let anybody make you think that it don't have nothing to do with police misconduct, police brutality, and that is an execution. I know they said that the death penalty has been repealed. Not if you black. Not if you black and brown and you walking around in this town. Your penalty will be death. But when it's the police, you notice others are silent about it, and they're making a quick mini second on their radio show. It's a quick mini second because your life doesn't mean anything. Because in the words of Mark Twain, what does it mean? It was just a nigga. It was just a nigga that got killed. That's all. It doesn't mean anything. Just a nigga child that got killed last night. Doesn't mean anything to these fake white liberals in this city that are more concerned about their dogs and their property than they are people losing their lives in the city. Doesn't mean a thing to your mayor who can talk about what happened to Trayvon Martin. But she ain't gonna say nothing about what happened to that black man last night. He wasn't a father. He wasn't a son. He wasn't a child of God. And they want to come around and dress it up and try to minimize what the police did and maximize what that black man did. It was a traffic stop. Well, they stopping brothers here, there, and everywhere. They stopping them like they in Africa on a safari hunt, if you haven't seen that by now, in your neighborhood. And it's happening in the so-called wealthy neighborhood, middle-class neighborhood, and the poor neighborhoods right now. And you don't hear your mayor sending out an order saying cease and desist in terms of your profiling of black men in this city. Cease and desist of your profiling of black children in this city right now. It's almost as if it is open season for some of these thugs in blue uniforms. Not the good officers, but you know who the criminal ones are down there, Russell. You know who the criminal ones are, Skinner. You know who the criminal ones are, Batts and others. But you won't open your mouth up about it, nor will you discipline them, nor will you charge them. Except for if it happened maybe to a white man. or a white woman or a dog, if I can keep it real, if it happened to a dog, he'd be suspended without pay right now, facing charges. And there would be a response from the people for the ethical treatment of animals. But how about the people for the ethical treatment of black folk? And then you have those say you should come out and celebrate the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington. No, you should commemorate. You should commemorate. You should elevate. You should educate. But you got to get reinvigorated. You got to be reinvigorated. Then you got to initiate and agitate. Otherwise, you're going to be liquidated is what's going to happen. You're going to be liquidated, and you'll be in some of them ovens. May not be the modern ovens as the Jews did in Nazi Germany, but you will be liquidated as they're liquidating you right now in the streets and in the suites. More of us dying in the hospitals. You don't even want to have that conversation. You dying by a cardiac. The brothers in the street dying by a cardiac. Let me come to the lines, man. Take your thoughts, questions, comments. But again, as I warned you, I don't have to be a weatherman. I don't have to be a weather forecaster from Vetus Reed to Tom Tasselmeyer to Bob Turk or anybody else. But if you're a black man and a black child and a black woman in this city right now, the weather and the temperature for you is 5 H's. Hazy, hot, humid, hazardous, and hostile. Hostile in this city right now. But your leadership seems to be without a clue with what to do as long as it's happening to you. They knew how to protect black people downtown at the Inner Harbor on July the 4th, but they can't protect and respect your rights when they come uptown on Kitmore and Kelly or Kitmore and Kelson or wherever. They snuff that man's life out, and then we'll come back and intimidate any witnesses in terms of the video camera footage of what happened and try to treat them like they're the criminal or they're the suspect. Well, let's see if you see Al Sharpton or any of those that claim to be with Al Sharpton say anything about that tonight. See if they allow the son of Dr. King to say anything about a black man being killed in the city of Baltimore, or will they just try to flip the script on you and tell you about black-on-black violence? Tell you about black-on-black violence. You see how many Arabs died over there last month in Iraq? You see how many Arabs died in the Middle East? You hear them talking about brown-on-brown violence? You hear about them Chinese that killed each other? You hear them talking about yellow-on-yellow violence? But you dumb enough to let them tell you that it's black-on-black violence. No, it's them illegal guns that they're bringing into our community. It's them illegal guns that they're bringing into our community that's tied to the illegal arrests, tied to the illegal organ trafficking and everything else that's illegal that your national leadership or misleadership don't want to address. But let me come to the line, man. Take your thoughts, questions, comments, because I had much more I wanted to get into as I share that message from Dr. King talking about, again, the historic March on Washington, but I want you to hear the beginning. Not that I have a dream, but what King really had to say about slavery and the plight of black people in this country, because nothing has changed in 50 years. And then we'll begin to talk about what you and I should be doing and what we must do, as I said, teaching our sons and our daughters, teaching them how to use a gun, take them out and register them as gun owners, as George and Jonathan Jackson did at 17 years old. If you don't know the real story about the Soledad brothers, then teach our children at that young age. Also, get registered to vote, man. Even if you ain't gonna vote, at least get registered. At least get registered. Put a chamber, put something in that chamber, as they say. And of course, we got to work to make a change on all levels, man. But again, as I said before, we got to look at all the ingredients from the civil rights movement and the black power movement. And our love has to be strong enough to say all for one and one for all. Not one for the corporations, not one for the president, not one for Eric Holder, but all for one and one for all around this issue, man, of, again, the violence that's being meted out against our people. And we have to be organized, as the great Kwame Ture said. The only thing that can defeat a well-organized lie is a well-organized truth. But disorganized truth cannot defeat a well-organized lie. And that's what we're looking at, from Florida to all of these other places around this country right now. But let me come to the line. Take your thoughts, questions, comments, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City. Caller, you there? Calling on once, calling on twice. Lost that call. Give me a call if you want to get in on the conversation. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Wa
alaikum salam, brother. Thoughts, comments?
Yeah, man. My thing is, Al Sharpton ain't doing nothing but come here and get a fistful of damn dollars. That's all he's come here for.
That's usually what it's about, brother. Fistful of dollars and a shakedown. He ain't going to talk about police brutality. So they clearly are trying to pigeonhole our people into saying, you can talk about the George Zimmerman Trayvon trial, but do not talk about police brutality. You understand? In the city of Baltimore. Do not talk about how blacks are being rounded up in terms of stop and frisk, and other ways, of course, in terms of, again, the illegal guns and everything else that's being brought into our community. Don't talk about that, Al Sharpton. Don't talk about the, again, sentence discrepancies, but it's all tied together. And they're not willing to talk about all of it, then they should do best and stay away and don't address none of it, because they want to try to just limit what they're doing because they have another agenda, brother. And if you got to use a dead man in terms of young brother Trayvon Martin as a fundraiser, then that says that Trayvon Martin got more value in death than Al Sharpton has in life, if I can keep it real. All right?
Yeah, but another thing, brother, people don't realize it. Martial law is here.
Yes, sir.
And they had martial law against black people, period.
That's
Not
right.
only black men, but black people, period.
Yes, sir.
Martial law is here today, right now.
That's right, brother. When a man can be killed for so-called just a traffic stop, right, in East Baltimore, and
you know, they're going to sweep it up. That's going to be swept under the rug.
that's usually what they do. They try to do the 3 Ds of deny, destroy, or to discredit the person, and they've already started with denying. And I don't know who that fool is, Rodriguez or Gonzalez. They don't got let him speak. They need to keep some of them off of the microphone. Go back and get the what's her name, Brown, that used to work down there as the spokesperson, the sister Nicole Brown, and what was the Donnie Mo. Go back and get them. At least they was a little more perhaps empathetic and sympathetic, and you could understand what was coming out of their mouths. But these are grown men, and they went through all this medallion training. They can't even pronounce 2 words. They can't even make a decent sentence together. They sound robotic and automatic more so than anything else, brother. All right? Appreciate your call. All right. Do the same. And my condolences and sympathy go out to the family of that black man killed in the city last night and that 16-year-old. That 16-year-old that was killed in the city up in the, I think it said Liberty and Wabash neighborhood. So again, let me come back to the lines, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City. Turn your radio down.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, beloved.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Just calling to let you know I'm boycotting the city as usual. I ain't stopping.
Yes, sir. Right.
Right now I'm on a mission.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully people will pick up on it. If it ain't black, don't buy it.
I like that concept. If it's not
And
black,
also,
put it back.
And also in terms of the brother.
Yes, sir.
It's
Right.
business as usual.
Right.
No,
Yes, sir.
Black folks just got to wake up, man, and take a stand. That's all.
I agree.
Got to
Yes,
get
sir.
tired.
That's right, brother. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for checking in now.
Yes, sir, brother.
All right, Assalamu alaikum. And with that, we'll take more of your calls. 410-761-1592. Don't worry if I don't get into the Trayvon Martin Today update. I'm going to give you much more for sure tomorrow, but stay tuned in terms of send me that Facebook request, and you can go online to view most of the posts that we'll be sharing with you regarding, again, the whole case of Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman, and so much more that I've been wanting to give you that I'm definitely going to give you. With that, let me come back to the line. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City.
Good afternoon, Brother Darren. How are you?
I'm good, brother, except, man, sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of every time we pick up the paper that we know of in terms of a black man or black child being killed. And then, of course, those who are supposed to be protected and serving are serving us up as opposed to protecting us in this city, brother.
Hey, Brother Darren, I'm gonna tell you, man, we have to get out of that illusion.
Yes,
of
sir.
Just because we have a black face in the place, not necessarily mean it's in our interest, brother.
Yes,
we
sir.
have a black face in the White House,
Right.
a black face in City Hall,
Yes.
and a black face down at the police department, and things still haven't changed. Matter of fact, brother, it may have become worse.
It's gotten worse, brother. They become the pacifiers of the people. You understand? They become the
doubt.
pacifiers of the people. We being more disgraced by having some of them black faces in high places right now. All
Hey,
right?
Brother Darren, last one, brother. Hey,
Yes,
look,
sir.
man, I want to thank you for pulling the curtains back on that National Action Network.
Yes.
That NAACP, brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Clearly.
man, all them organizations, man, them sponsorships,
Right.
they sponsor all 3 of them, brother.
They sponsor all 3 of them. And you might find out that Zimmerman's lawyer might be one of Al Sharpton's lawyers if we know the name Bernstein, that was Al Sharpton's lawyer and paid for his campaign when Roger Stone and the boys, who are staunch, cold, thug GOP members, was running their game and running Sharpton campaign. But he'll never want to have that conversation with me about that. All
Hey,
right?
brother, sound like that article, man, sleeping with the GOP.
Yeah, he went past sleeping with the GOP. How you call a political menage a trois is what it is, brother. Thank you for your
Go ahead,
call
man.
now. All right, with that, we'll take more of your calls, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You on the State of the City.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing, Darren?
Oh, good, brother, except this mess, man.
I know, man. You
Huh?
know,
Yes, sir.
you know, I'm sick and tired of when we get pulled over by the police department here in Baltimore, around the country, brother,
Right.
and it can be for minor violations, even if there were drugs, we have to end up the next day dead.
That's right.
You know, brother?
Yeah. They said that the governor said he repealed the death penalty. For who? That's the question I'd ask. For who?
You're absolutely right, brother. And, I'm sick and tired of these folks going